Hello, good evening. So it's Hanukkah. That's the end. They say that that's the ultimate chaysom. So there's Rosh Hashanah, and then there's Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah Yechasevon, Yom Tzom Kippur Yechasevon. First chaysom is Yom Kippur. Then you have Sukkot and Shmini Atzeres, Shana Rabbah. That's another chaysom, Then there is Hanukkah also. So is Hanukkah. That's the last chasima. The chasima of Kohen Gadol, the seal of a Kohen Gadol. There's the last chasima. Incredible. As we said the last time was my time before, that the Hanukkah is signs, seals and delivers the fact that, as you said before, En Zulosai, En Od Milvadai. There's nobody but Hashem. Because Hanukkah, the historical Hanukkah, was the last time that Am Yisrael got rid of Avodah Zarah, of idolatry. And whatever.
She just put in some laundry.
So before
she came and then she left.
We said before
that
when a person says every Jew has to get to the madrega of having memshala and dominion over the malachim, over the angels, and this is done by connecting to Nishmas Yisrael, to all Nishmas Yisrael. This is how a person gets a koyach to withstand the wrath and jealousy, the envy of the malachim, of the angels. And then we started saying that the way to get there is a person needs to connect himself to the famous leaders of the generation, the tzaddikim generation. I said that it's necessary. We are going to see Yud. We're going to see Yud. Tinyana.
Which one? Ches?
The Torah Aleph, Chelik Beis. So we said that the challenge in connecting with Nishmas Yisrael through connection with the famous leaders, obviously, in the generation, is that not all the leaders are in the position of leadership by being worthy of it. Some of them are leaders because they're ambitious. They are leaders because they are bold. They are leaders because they want to be leaders. which means that the mindset, what they're doing is that they are taking the position of leadership. They're not really, a source and a root of Nishmas Israel. They're just almost like politicians, that they will do anything to get elected. They're not true leaders, they're not true tzaddikim, that they are the source of the neshamas that, that are under them.
Yeah, true. They're a false leader just as out for himself.
Yeah.
Doesn't care about the people.
That's right. Adrabah.
He uses them.
We learned in Torah Design. Wait. Yeah, I think it was Torah Design. The Rabbeinu said that when a person overcomes the midah of cruelty within him, and he gets to a position where he's angry, and he controls it, and he doesn't act upon his anger, but actually he ameliorates it by behaving mercifully, he is causing the real tzaddikim to accept the role of leadership. But the tzaddikim, the real tzaddikim, they run away from a position of honor and leadership and whatever it is. Moshe Rabbeinu. But Baruch Hu had to, to cajole him and press him, and whatever, for three days. He would not accept, the position of leadership. I mean, to the point of Kodesh Baruch Hu told him, listen, if you're not, you're not saving them, if you're not leading them, nobody's going to save them.
Yeah.
You're the one, you're the only one. But these men, Moshe Rabbeinu was the source of all 600,000 neshamas. His neshama is the mother lode from which all Nishmas Yisrael came. But these Mefarsamim just care about their own careers. They want a career as a Rebbe, as a this, as a that, whatever. It doesn't mean if somebody's a Rebbe Chas v'Chalila that he's many Baruch Hashem Rebbes, that they're tzaddikim, they're the real tzaddikim, they're the real leaders, and the neshamas that underneath, under them, actually they are the heads of these neshamas, and you have to be mekash yourself to them. How can you tell which is which? So the Rebbe went into the mahalach that you have to have Yira Shlema, and when you're getting the things that stand between a person and the real Yir Shamayim, which means the real Das, is the three midos rules of Tavas Momen, Tavas Nashim, Tavas Achila. And it says when a person gets, clean Yira, then that creates a malach that brings about a spirit of prophecy. Even though there isn't anybody who actually prophesizes, but when there's a spirit of prophecy, that brings about the geula of the tefillah. People start talking to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and they daven, and they pay attention to what they're saying. When that happens, then a person is able to find refuah in anything. whatever he eats, whatever he drinks. Why? Because it doesn't depend on a specific refuah, specific medicine, but rather it depends on Dvar Hashem. Dvar Hashem Shamayim Nas. He's being healed through Dvar Hashem. So, ועבדתם את השם אלוקיכם, and you serve Hashem אלוקיכם, ברך לחמך וזמימך, and Hashem bless your bread and your water, והסירוס עמך לא מקרבך, and I shall remove all illness from within you. עבד השם אלוקיכם, and you serve Hashem אלוקיכם, avoid the tefillah. Mimela, when you are zeichet tefillah, the year as though it's supposed to be, it brings about the resonation of prophecy. You are able to daven properly. Then, Kadosh Baruch Hu, that removes the machlo through Dvar Hashem by eating anything, whatever you want to eat. Whatever you drink, that brings about the. That is when a person holds in the shirish and chinami, when it comes down to this world, it makes a difference. What kind of illness it is, what kind of medicine will take care of it. However, when a person through tefillah is holding at the root of Dvar Hashem, the word of Hashem, then he can be healed with anything. Eat bread, water, and anything. But, says Rabbeinu, there is 3 toils. It's interesting that Rebbe calls it avodas. Shem afsidin avodas atfil. In other words, the tefillah is an avodah. It's a labor. And there are 3 other labors which water down the avodah of the tefillah. The ham shalosh midas, these are 3 specific midas. Aleph, alti baz lekol odom, do not look down on any person, do not despise any person. Shalom alavaz shum odom, don't despise any person. And Kitzur Likutey Moharan says, even in thought, let alone don't say anything. Even in your thought, don't look down your nose at other people. Because that kind of position of despising other people or looking down at other people, it ruins the tefillah. The second one is avodah zarah. Rabbeinu says that even the corruption of the emunah is not complete, it's not clean. It's also a certain type of avodah zarah, a certain degree of avodah zarah. But the Baal Shem Tov said, "Besartem," this is it, "Va'avadetem Elohim acherim." And you should sway from Hashem, and you will serve idols. Shem Tov said, the south, and the minute that you sway away from Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're immediately in an aspect of Elohim Acherim, and you're already serving idols. And the third one is Shmir Sabris. In other words, somebody who is not Shomer Bris properly. Now, it says, and the Rebbe now brings the Raya is going to bring the Raya that each one of these bad tendencies is called avodah. It's called a labor.
I mean, you should.
But the main union that we need to understand is like, what's the difference? Before we said that in order to complete the year,
I'm assuming.
in order to complete the year, a person needs, the person need to, there's taivas moment, there's taivas achila, taivas noshim, right? Now he's saying things that ruin the tefillah. And he says, despising, looking down at other people. Avodah Zorah, which is kilkul lamuna. The third one is shmiras habrit. But before, we also said taivas noshim, right? We said the lust for women. So, what's the difference between what we said before, the things, the aspects that spoil the Yira, and the three avodas that the Rebbe calls it three midos, three traits. Now he calls it three labors, three avodas. And he also repeats, over there it's called taivas noshim, over here it's called shmiras habrit. What's the difference between the two? So the answer, Abnosa speaks about it in the Likutey Moharan II. And he says as follows. He says, when we spoke about it, about the Yira, we're not talking about the eradication of these tendencies. Because a person needs to eat. Which means you need to have the impetus to eat. We're not saying get rid of eating altogether. We're saying do it at its proper place. The same thing with taivas moment, with the lust for money. You need money. A kedusha, a person needs money. So what it means is that it has to be calibrated. The without wanting money, you cannot run the kind of mitzvahs. You cannot eat. You cannot do anything. Same thing with taivas noshim. A person needs to have children. So when we're talking about the three midos, in order to be able to rectify, to bring about the proper balance in a person's zero, over there we're talking about calibration of the impetus to do these things. Money, food, and women. But over here, when we're talking about the things that break down that tefillah, that corrupted tefillah, we're talking about the three avodas that we're talking about three issues that need to be totally eradicated, totally wiped out. The Maisa, when we say Al tiyez ba'al zechol odom, don't despise anyone. The second one is, Avodah Zorah, and the third one is shmiras habrit. This corresponds to the three averos. That's Yahari B'Bal Yav, that the Yid is ordered to be willing to get killed and not transgress. This is Avodah Zorah, Arayas, and Shfichas Dam. So, Al tiyeh baz d'chodam, don't despise anyone, is a derivative of Shfichas Dam. Say when a person, humiliates another person, like it's killing him. By the way, I heard from one of the West, Godel that said that when somebody goes in front of the Omer, Kabbalah Shabbos, and he's singing, whatever they're singing, Chadaydi, whatever it is that he's singing, anybody who doesn't sing with him, in other words, you know what the nigun is, but you don't sing with him, is over al tzamol adam re'ech. Don't stand on your brother's blood. Because people, when you stand there by the Omer, then you sing and nobody sings with you. It's terrible. So yeah, it's very humiliating. This is if you know, I'm not talking about sometimes people go to the Omer and they sing this nigun and nobody knows. Yeah, what can I do? They're singing these really I don't know, this esoteric nigunim. Nobody knows. So nobody sings with them. I mean, you want to be original? What can you do? Nobody can sing with you. But normally, people know these nigunim. If you don't sing,
we don't have words. We just have a tune.
It's sad though, but we're saying if you know the tune and you don't sing with them,
Don't do the tune with them.
yeah, it's a humiliation. It's
There's 100 people here, and you're not doing the nigun,
so
and no one hears you. You're learning this something or whatever here.
So that's the interesting thing that he's saying. He said you should know that singing along with the Baal Tefillah is not just a nice option that will make a nice atmosphere and everybody's singing, whatever it is. That too. He says, but there is a migras, there's a pgam in not singing. Don't stand aside when your friend, when your fellow person is being humiliated, is being, basically killed. It's like it's horrible. It's like people need to understand, that how important it is to go to a chasana. There'll be other people. Can you imagine somebody making a chasana and nobody comes? Or making a chasana and expects 100 people and 10 people show up. It's an unbelievable humiliation. It's mamish lo samal dal necha. Besides the fact, that to be b'samei chasana, the call of all those things, going to a chasana, going to a wedding is refraining from going to a wedding, especially if there's a wedding that there's so many people coming there, nobody will ever notice if you came or didn't. Okay, but said that there's no chash for them. But regular people's wedding, whatever it is, showing up is a big thing. Because every single person that comes is contributing to the good feeling that the Baal Simcha has. It's a horrible thing. I mean, I was 10 years old. When I was 10 years old, so my parents they threw a birthday party.
They what?
A birthday party. They made me a birthday party for me. I was 10 years old. And it wasn't Shabbos. And I didn't know what to do about it. And nobody came. I'm telling you.
Maybe that's good.
No, I'm telling you. I don't know what's good, what's not good. I'm telling you, nobody came.
Drive to your house.
No. It wasn't people. It was just the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's the point is that nobody came, and I'm telling you, until today, whenever I make a simcha, until people show up, I don't know. They will come. They won't come. It's a trauma that that stayed with me until today. What?
I always wondered why people, when you go to a chasana, they thank you for coming. And I think you get the food, everything is for you, and yet they're thanking you for coming. That's
bevada. You're mamash giving They don't know life.
Make
Yeah.
it,
No?
wedding, make the husband for 10 and then 600 was short.
That's very good. It's very good. You know, but it's I'm telling you, I was just a kid. And until today, it stays with me.
Wow.
Imagine how much a person actually makes chasana, spends all this money, but and people don't show up. I'm going to say, it's mamish cruelty. It's shvichas damim, shemirach. So these things need to be totally eradicated. We're not talking about calibration, how much you should despise your friend, how much you should look down upon him, or how much you should lust after women, or how much, how much you need to polish and raise your level of amunah. Here we're talking about something that needs to be totally eradicated. Even in machshav. And we said it the last time, and I think I said it the time before. We'll say it again. We mentioned this Leonard Bernstein, the 60s, a musician. Yeah, he was a composer, he was a conductor, he was a soloist, and he was an educator, a music educator. You would take people on these sort of young people on a journey. You know, the thing is that people don't, unless they are professional musicians or, they're really good at it, most people don't, they don't hear the intricacies of the music. They're basically, okay, that's what's coming in. That's the impression they get from it. I like it, I don't like it, finished. But there's a lot more happening, with a really intricate and very good piece of music that if you have a guide, that as you're listening to it, he says, listen to this, and you're able to follow it. I mean, suddenly you see, wow, there's a whole new world open up in front of you. The same thing that, that people, when you see a painting, you see, take a look at this, take a look at that, whatever it is, so he was very good at that. So they asked him once in an interview if people are jealous of him. And he said, if I were someone else, I would be jealous of him. Okay, it's awesome. Sneers, another humble. If I were doing somebody else, I would be envious of me. So we took that saying, we're taking it to us. If any one of us would have been somebody else, he knew us, he would be envious of us.
Right?
He would be envious of us.
If we were someone else?
If you were someone else and not you, and you knew of the things, of the good things that you have done, you would be jealous of you.
Why?
You don't know why, because you're not somebody else.
But that somebody else might know that not to have jealousy.
No, I'm not talking about bad jealousy. I'm talking about good jealousy. In a cipher. I'll avoid that I had that reader in me. I mean, you look at yourself. Who am I? What am I? Look. Just this whole thing is you. Yeah, but any compliment anybody will give you, what you'll say, yeah, but do I know you or do I know you? If you were somebody else, we'd be very envious of you. But the thing is, it's true to each and every one of us. If we were somebody else and we were to know what each and every one of us went through to get to where we are now, sitting here, in Breslov Smedra, Shloim Likutey Moharan, he would be extremely envious of us. Same thing. You see somebody else. I don't know, maybe somebody dancing on the van, you know, with whatever. Or in Oman, you see, they're doing all the, and you may look at it it's like, you know, they say about Michal, the wife of David HaMelech, when she saw David HaMelech dancing before the Holy Ark, it was Vativas lo beliba, and she despised him in her heart. And when he killed, because he was lifting up his garments, he was dancing. So she was the daughter of Shaul HaMelech. And when he came, he says, "What a great day it is in Israel that the king of Israel is showing himself to be, like one of the hoodlums, that is lowering himself in front of his slaves and maiden servants." David HaMelech said, "I'm going to myself even lower than that. I will humble myself even lower than that. I'm dancing in Kodesh Baruch." Says, "That's why Kodesh Baruch Hu chose me over the house of your father." And the Tanakh said, and the Nevi'im say, that Michal did not have any children until the end of her days because of that.
Who?
Michal.
Didn't David say something to her?
She said to her, she said to him, what a great day it is when the king of Israel, humbled himself, like jumping and prancing, dancing and prancing like one of the slaves or one of the maiden servants. So the Melech says, I'll humble myself even more than that. That's why Kodesh Baruch Hu picked me over your father's house, over your father. Over the Melech, it's Shaul. That's why he picked me.
But why would he?
And she was punished by Kodesh Baruch Hu. She did not have any children till the end of her days.
Why would she? David said something there to punish her?
He didn't say anything to punish her. He said to her, he answered her the way he should have. And because she was over al baz l'chol adam, don't despise any person. The Tanakh says, "Vativas lo belibo," she despised him in her heart.
One. Despised him?
Yeah,
One.
when she saw him dancing in front of,
How he's acting.
because how he's acting, he's dancing like a shiva bocher and a chasana. It's like a, so the Melech Yisrael. That's the way that you're behaving. So she felt this. They despised him. Despised Rishon Beseder. She didn't have children until the day she died.
No children? No more children. She already had.
I don't know if more children. I don't remember exactly what the. But the point is that here we're talking about now Avodah Zarah. One of the you say no. So what I'm trying to say is that this meaning of being baz l'chol adam, when a person despises another Jew, it's because you don't realize that the other person is a complete person. It's a whole life. I'll tell you a story. I think I told you the story once before. I'll tell you once again. Who knows what, some people listen to this video, that video, whatever it is.
What story is it?
I'm going to tell you what kind. Somebody gave me this delicious tea, so I was drinking. When I was living in America, and I had one of those rough periods that people have in their lifetime. And I remember, I was feeling very broken. And, there's a sikha that Rabbeinu says, if a person keeps on whining how bad things are. Because Baruch Hu says, you think this is bad, I'll show you what bad really is. But the person keeps on saying how wonderful his life is. Baruch Hu says to him, you think this is good, I'll show you what good really is. Now, what I didn't know then is that the Rebbe was speaking about people who whine to other people. You know, they said to other people, oh, my life is terrible, blah, 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 blah. That kind of thing. This is what the Rebbe was talking about. You know, but a person could tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you know, I'm in pain. Right? You probably remember this, so we spoke about this. So I went to make his videos, and I was in such pain, and I said, to be honest with you, I'm embarrassed to say this, but this is what happened. So I said, to be honest with you, I don't know what to tell you. If I'll tell you, you know, that if things are bad, you'll say you think this is bad, I'll show you what bad really is. So I can't say that. Besides, you know best. You're always right. So where am I? Can't tell you anything. Can't complain. Can't do anything. So I actually said to him, you know something? Tell you what, I'm going to go home to sleep. You do what you want, leave me out of it. I'm going. and I went home. And a couple of days later, it sort of like dawned on me. I settled down a little bit. I went back to the feld, and it was a schoolyard of a high school, a Croatian high school. There were, you know, lawns there, people walking with their dogs. So at night, I went and I did. And I remember, and I went there and I said, you know, you're right. It's not that I know and you know better. That's not the situation. Because I don't know anything. You really know. But I said, I had a question for you. Just answer me one thing. Why does it have to be so difficult? And I felt an urge to say to myself, inside my own heart, a very weird sentence. That sentence was, if not for that, what I need you for? And I started laughing. Not far from the other side of the fence of that schoolyard, is a Jewish cemetery. I was laughing so hard I thought the dead are going to rise. It was so loud. What was so funny? It sounds like a really, like, you know, a little flick in the nose. It's not that what I need you for. You know, kind of like it was really, you know, like a put down kind of thing. But upon saying this thing in my heart, I didn't hear a voice or whatever. I said to myself, this thing in my heart. I got an understanding. As if I saw myself with a Kodesh Baruch Hu, but I'm not facing him. But in my mind, we were standing side by side. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu has his arm over my shoulder. And we're both looking at this pitiful, sorry excuse of a life that I was living. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu is telling me, from the point that it came up in my mind to create a world, all the way throughout history, all the way until the end of time, the end of days. You know, the great judgment day, and afterwards, you know, all the neshamas coming, but at the end of the end, the whole thing cannot be complete without this life having been lived. And I don't have anyone else besides you who is capable of doing it. You are the only one who can live this life. I need it. Do me a favor, live this life. I promise I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Incredible.
When you take a look at it, how true this is. If I were somebody else, of course I'd be jealous of me. I felt like, yeah, all right. It's like, you know, I'm giving Kodesh, he needs me. You know, that thing that he said, you know, if not for that, what I need you for. Within that was hidden a saying, I need you. It's not just you who need me. It's not just you who, you know, needs everything in his life. Give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, give me health, give me food, give me money, give me shelter, give me love, give me. I'm not the only needy one here. There's God who needs me too. And being able to realize that. Oh man, being able to realize that is a tremendous gift. It's an incredible gift. How can I look down upon somebody else? Kadosh Baruch Hu needs him. Kadosh Baruch Hu needs that life. Maybe, I mean, this person may be stupid with a capital stu, okay? I mean, he can be, you know, somebody of a really low life, whatever it is, and he may be jumping and prancing. I remember Dr. Gungel wrote about going to Uman. He said, like a guide for people to go to Uman. He said, you remember you are here in Uman, Rosh Hashanah, on a special invitation of the Rebbe. He says, you may see here people whose concept of culture, for lack of another word, do not exactly fit yours. It would do you well, it would do you good to remember that they were invited here as well. Personal invitation from the Rebbe. They're not the only one. Each one of these people is a whole, complete life. No matter what it is. I mean, when we see somebody who's suffering, it's not easy, you know, to face the distress of other people. It takes a personality, it takes certain fortitude to be able to be there. You know, usually, you know, when in face of adversity, when people are going through hard times, most people, including me, we tend to avert our eyes, not to look at it, because somehow it breaks down our illusion, you know, of life, what life is. It takes a special person to be able to, you know, to accept, to empathize with people. So it's very common. Remember, it's a very common thing, you know, when people are ill, especially a catastrophic illness, that many people feel very, it's very difficult for them to go and visit them. Because that person is like, he's no longer playing the game, he's no longer, he doesn't, there's no, he doesn't function, but he's.
Can't talk to them.
Either you can't talk to them or else,
Can't talk to you.
he can't talk to me, I can't talk to me, whatever the case may be.
It can be awkward.
It is awkward, and in the sense that, let's say that, if the person-in-law later is in coma, it's easier. When you go, okay, once you see a person's in coma. If the person is cognizant,
It's still here, even in coma.
what?
Report down. People are in coma and they can hear, know everything going on around.
No, but it's less awkward.
It's awkward, sure.
It's less awkward when somebody is there and he knows that he's sick. He knows where he's gone. And you're standing there before him, and it's like, you know what to do with yourself. What can you tell him? So it takes a special person to be able to contain that, to empathize with that, and to relate to that. Don't despise anyone, even in your own thought, because that means that you're living in a dreamland. You're living in an illusion. You're not living life. Your friend is a special being like you, and he has a set of circumstances that his neshama went down to this world to go through. So we have these three avodas. We said you have to eradicate completely. Now, when it comes to emunah, there's nothing else that is more important than hone and sharpen, and upgrade your emunah. When a person has emunah, a person grows. People have careers in this world. Some people open businesses, some people do this, some people do that. But the only career that really matters is emunah. Shchon Eretz, reside in the land, or emunah, shepherd emunah. That's the name of the game. Everything else is just a light.
Just a what?
A light.
Light?
Yeah, Bud Light, this is Bud Light. It says, there's a commercial of Bud Light. It says, Bud Light, everything else is just a light. It's not a Bud Light. I'm saying any kind of occupation in this world is not negia to Torah, to Avodas Hashem. It's just a waste of time.
Are you supposed to do the occupation?
No, so it's not. No, it's not a question of that you're not supposed to do it. The point is that you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Not everybody's capable of, of sitting down and learn all day. This is not it. Reb Naftali, the two biggest Talmid of Rabbeinu was Reb Nosson Naftali. Reb Naftali had a business in the middle of the day, whatever, spend a few minutes. I don't know if he was a bookkeeper or changed money. I'm not sure what was his business, but he had, a few minutes every day. This is what he was doing. He was doing some parnas. The leader after Rabbeinu was Reb Nosson. It's not Reb Naftali. Reb Nachman Tulchina was leading just after Reb Nosson. This is one of the reasons that Reb Nosson picked him to lead Breslov, is because he was 100% Avodas Hashem. That's it. He didn't do anything else outside that. That was his career. Now, Rav Noson's own children, of Shachar, the famous one that the letters in Olim Trufas between Noson and him. He was working in the post office. Post office at that time was also the bank or whatever it was, and he was extremely responsible. The Rebbe wrote his I think his son-in-law or his mechutin. I'm not sure. There's a letter that Rabbeinu wrote. The Rabbeinu tells him, you deal with business. You have to work for a living. He says, because your occupation, he says, it's a heavenly need. The Shemaim, they need your business dealing. Say them. I'm not putting down anybody. I'm not saying every person has his own, but you have to understand that the main thing is avodas Hashem. Everything else is just there in order to enable you to do it.
Yeah.
Some people can take more, some people can take less. Some people need, not only this, some people need Torah because otherwise they'll just go bored out of their minds. Not everybody can sit down and learn all day long, daven the whole day long. And Achinam, Reb Shmuel Isaac, one of the Rabbeinu's biggest Talmidim, unbelievable, David Hashem was an angel. And his wife, that his wife came to Rabbeinu complaining that he doesn't bring home any parnasa. So when he came to Rabbeinu told him, okay, listen, I'm going to give you a schedule. This many hours to learn, this many hours to daven, this many hours to work, this many. So Shmuel Isaac says, the Rebbe really means it? He says, you want emes? Just about this Hashem. You really want the emes? Same thing was Reb Nosson, his shver, his father-in-law, wanted him to be a Rav in one of the towns that were under him. So Reb Nosson went to ask the Rebbe. So the Rebbe told him, of course you should be a Rav. So Reb Nosson said, but I'm scared. Maybe I'll, make a mistake and you're a Rav. And the Rebbe says, who should be a Rav? Somebody who's not afraid of making mistakes. So Nosson says the Rebbe means it, the emes. The Rebbe says, for sure, of course. He says the Rebbe means it with the emet and emes, with the real truth. The Rebbe says, you want emet and emes? Stay here. Nevertheless, a person needs to be makiras atzma. A person needs to know himself, need to know who he is. You need to work. You need to work. Whatever it is that you need to be. But everything should be, a wherewithal in order to be able to reach emunah, to live a life of emunah. We're sitting here. I don't know how many years is this year going on. How many years?
10.
10 years already. Yeah. 50 years from now, very few of us will be here.
Count on that.
Oh, gee, thanks.
But this is an unbelievable moment. You have to understand, we're sitting around a table and we're talking about avodas Hashem. We're learning Likutey Moharan. We're learning the words of Rabbeinu. This never gets lost. This moment, this instant exists forever. Forever. If you were somebody else, we'd be very envious of you. this moment now here. 10 years already. Every single moment that we're here, the 10 years, every single moment of all the 10 years that we went through exists in every moment of this year that we're here. It compounds. And then, of course, the Shmir Sabris. Shmir Sabris means the head needs to be clean. And the temptation of fantasizing over something. Maybe something that, what if it would have happened when I was 20 or 30 or whatever? What if? And takes you on a journey. Let me tell you something, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 100 years old. You'll still have these thoughts. The point in the Kuda is that when a thought comes to the head, the thought needs to be driven out. How do you drive out a thought? You stop thinking it. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. So here's an answer, here's an advice for you. Prepare something, a thought, that you're interested in. I don't know, some people are interested in airplanes. No. Some people are interested in, I don't know, music or whatever. Prepare a thought, okay? Call it designated thought, right? It's very difficult to stop a licentious thought once it's already in your head, it's running. It's very hard to put the brakes on it because you're very cognizant of the temptation and the kind of pleasure that it gives you. And you need to slam the brakes. It's very hard. But Rabbeinu says, you don't need to do that. Just take your designated thought and think that. Don't stop that thought. Just go to another one. Go to a thought that you like. Everybody has hobbies. Everybody has things that he's interested in. Just go ahead and go into that. It'll stop the other thought in its tracks. Also, it says in Likutey Halachos explicitly, it doesn't matter how far in you find yourself in that licentious fantasy. It doesn't matter. You've been thinking for an hour, but it doesn't matter. Whenever you come to a realization, stop it right then and there. That's it. So it's Hanukkah. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem should help us for another 20 years at least of learning Likutey Moharan here every week. B'ezrat Hashem. Kenana, we have now about 1,800 video shiurim on YouTube. These shiurim over here. And there are people that are coming here. It's not like, you know, the people, the New York Knicks fans that go to like every channel that has 1 million followers, whatever. That's not the case. In those videos, it's anywhere, I would say, 4 or 5, or sometimes when it's really popular, 76 people will be there, something like that. That would see. I don't know how long they see a few minutes, whatever it is. Maybe one person or 2 people like actually, go through the whole shiur. One of usually the more stories, what's a Shabbos, the videos what's a Shabbos is Sichas Oran, Sefer Baal Shem Tov. So people, they like that more, whatever it is. But this shiurim also, you have some that people, there's somebody from New Zealand that listens to them all the time. There's somebody who lives in Hungary that says that's his steady diet. That's what he lives on. This Thursday night. There's a guy in France that told me they changed his life. I don't know him.
Jews or non-Jews?
Jews.
Jews.
I mean, the non-Jews, non-Jews, whenever it is, if I say Mashiach, that brings about a few hundreds of these these crazy ones. I had one of the shows called How to Recognize Mashiach. Forget about it. Forget about it. I had the mob. Mobs.
Every sugar came out of
Unbelievable. All right. Listen. Even all the neshama needs to go through after 120 years. Because there's Nahal Dino, the river of fire, there's this, there's that. Even Chas v'Chalila people that need to go through Gehenna, it ultimately is all a wherewithal for the ultimate good. This is the name of the game. It's not about, I got you, that's it. Now you're really going to get it. That's not what it's about. Even all the balagan that the person needs to go through in this world, the next world, whatever, is also is in order to bring him to the ultimate good. What is the ultimate good? What is the ultimate good? Okay, this is here. I'm talking about what's the ultimate. What is Gan Eden? What is Gan Eden? Anybody can tell me what Gan Eden is? I said, okay, I can also say that. But what is Gan Eden? What's that? It's so good. It's so much fun. What is it? I mean, what is it? What are you going? You're going hiking in Switzerland. What is Gan Eden? So, Michtav Miliyahu, Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler, was a Mishgiach in Ponivich, or Yeshiva in Ponivich. He was a Breslover. The Maisa, you can see from that he was a Breslover.
Who was?
He was a Breslover. Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler. He was a Breslover. I mean, the Litvikists don't think that way, but he was a Breslover. And he explains what is Gan Eden. And it brings a proof for that. If you take your entire lifetime and take all the bright moments when it really worked out, you struck a deal, met your wife, it was a great time, childbirth, this, that, all these good moments that you had, all these little points of light, and concentrate them all to one single instant. Now, take all the good moments of all the people of your community. Someone maybe won the lottery, somebody did this, somebody did that. Take all the good moments of all of them put together with you and concentrate into one instant. And all the people of your country, all these glicklich, wow, moments of fame, the 50 minutes of fame, whatever it is, it really worked out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Everything into one single instant. Take your entire generation, all the good stuff. When this, I don't know, when this guy made this rocket, 23 stories high, go down, and it was cut with chopsticks, and everybody in the world saw it and clapped their hands, and he's making more money than anybody else in history. And this one was this, and this one was that. Everything, all the good moments, all the points of light of the entire generation, from China to Kamchatka and everything in between, and compress it into one single instant. And take the life of all the people who lived before you, from Adam Mauritian until today. and concentrate all the good stuff that happened to them to one single instant. And everything that will happen until the end of time, one single instant, it does not compare to one instant of Gan Eden. But this is what Gan Eden is about. All the good into one point. That's a point of what is Gan Eden is like. Now, it's not Shabbos. He says, the Shabbos is main Olam Haba. So this is just a second. So what is higher? What is like what? Shabbos is like Olam Haba, or Olam Haba is like Shabbos? What is bigger than what? The answer is Shabbos is much higher. Olam Haba is just Olam Abina. Shabbos is Ein Sof. And we are going through Shabbos every single week. Hey, Oh Hashem. Ashreinu. B'kitzur Ashreinu. If it wasn't for the Rebbe, we won't be able to see this or to realize this. We'll talk about it in such more next week. Have a good Shabbos. Hope everybody had a fantastic Hanukkah. With Hashem. We'll go Michal or Chai with Hashem. Let's just, this is not supposed to.
Good Sabbath.
Okay.